That is a problem.
And this is the solution, at least according to Honda. The refreshed 2025 Civic, specifically the new Civic Hybrid, aka some fresh competition for the Toyota Prius. 50, scratch that, nearly 50. That's how many miles per gallon Honda says the new Civic Hybrid will do. Now that's less than the Corolla Hybrid and the Prius, but it's definitely in the conversation. But the good news is that this is not just about efficiency. So under the hood of the new Civic Hybrid is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine paired with 2 electric motors, just like in the Accord and CR-V hybrids. The funny thing is, in those models, this powertrain makes 204 horsepower. Here, it makes 200 horsepower. This is a secret just between us friends, but I'm pretty sure they did that because they didn't want it to be more powerful than the Civic Si. We've driven every Honda that has this powertrain, and it's always a nice experience. The CVT has these simulated shift points to make it feel less like a CVT, and the handover from electric to gas is pretty much seamless all the time. I'm very excited to try this out in the Civic. So it used to be that the upper trim levels of the Civic were powered by a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, but that is no longer the case. The new hybrid setup replaces that. You also used to be able to get a manual here on the Civic hatch, but that is also no longer the case. If you want a manual now, it's SI or Type R only.
In case you were wondering, the Civic lineup still has non-hybrid options that cost a bit less. The regular gas-powered Civic will start around 25 grand, while a hybrid version will start at about 30. Then comes the top trim Sport Touring Hybrid, the one you're seeing throughout this video, that will be in the low $30,000 range.
Honda Civic Sport Touring Hybrid. They spell out the car's entire name on the back of it for you. Remember how a few years ago we started yelling at BMW because they were putting M badges on basically every car that they made? Same energy.
And once you're done counting the badges, you might notice the rest of the subtle design tweaks that Honda has deployed. That includes new 18-inch wheels, a more aggressive front fascia, and those little body-colored accents underneath the headlights. They kind of look like the car is wearing mascara. In true Honda form, this is a very light update that mostly looks the same as before. But if you ask me, that's not a bad thing because the Civic was already a very handsome vehicle.
Hey Google, find me some lunch.
Okay, there's Lucky Star Cafe 0.3 miles away.
Obviously, the Civic now has Google built-in integration, just like they have in the Accord. And it's fantastic. We love it in the Accord. So that means you get the voice assistant, you get Google Maps, and you have the ability to bring in third-party apps with the Play Store. So that means Spotify or other streaming services. This also has a 9-inch touchscreen that comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So if you don't want to rely on the Google integration, you can still use phone projection. The car also has a 12-speaker Bose audio system. All of this is phenomenal tech for a car like the Civic to have. The problem is that every single thing I just mentioned is specific to the top trim level of the Civic. So if you want the best tech available, you have to buy the most expensive model. If you haven't been inside of a current generation Civic, there is a lot to like in here. Not too much has changed for 2025, but that's okay. I love the center console, the material here. It doesn't pick up fingerprints no matter how hard you try. And right here, this honeycomb material here, it's just a nice looking little detail that makes the Civic feel nice, feel elevated. But as I look to the rear seats, there's no air vents back here. For a car that's over $30,000, that's not too much to ask. This is a no-brainer for Honda. Hybrids are a really hot commodity at the moment, and they weren't just gonna sit around and let Toyota have all the fun. The Civic should increase Honda's hybrid sales by a big margin when it joins the Accord and the CR-V. Now we'll have our full first impressions on the new Civic when we drive it in just a few short weeks. Until then, thanks for watching.